So there is a new movie that's going to be released theatrically called Annabelle: The Last Rites. This is the sixth entry, and I believe final, of the Conjuring universe, the most profitable horror universe. I would say the 21st century, because you have the DCCU, Monsterverse, and the MCU, of course. Why not one about like genuine horror that stars Ed Lorraine Warren in The Conjuring from 2013? There's this home somewhere, I forgot where, and a family of seven moves into a home they receive for cheap, Rhode Island. That's it. And they start experiencing paranormal stuff. At first, it's like, oh, okay, some of the stuff can be easily debunked. But what if it can't? What if there's some other force going on that's making their lives a living hell? And let us get paranormal experts Ed and Lorraine Warren to come and explore and explain some things. Let's get director James Wan to truly create a fantastic, legendary movie that makes the house alone is creepy. Man, this man knows what he does. What makes this movie so great though is the build up. It's like, okay, let's have some like pictures fall off the wall, or let's play hide and clap, where it's hide and seek, but they have to clap 3 times, and the third time a child appears and claps, and it's the build up here. It's like, okay, let's have the house look like it's from the 1970s, of course, with looking. I noticed a lot of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre influence, and yes, it does work really well here. The house feels like it's alive. Not alive, but there's just something disturbing about it, but in a good way, not a bad way, of course. And eventually I was like, okay, let's see what's going on. Let's have the like I said, with the escalation going on. It's like this family of seven, it's like they are truly all in this together. So personally, I think it was when the dog that actually passes on the first time, because dogs have a what is that? I would say an ESP, extrasensory perception, of being able to determine if there are things like mice and moles. Supposedly cats can determine that, or they have great distance and can bark at anything far away. Other times dogs, not the smartest in the world. So yeah, unfortunately, when the dog passes, you do feel it, because I love dogs, I love cats, and it does hit. And we get to explore more of this house, like what's going on, like why is this house cursed? It's it's like when they have the tension going on, just the lack of music, because sometimes with some sound movies, the music is there, but when it's so eerie and disturbing, it's like, no, I just kind of want atmosphere, not like gothic horror atmosphere like with the reviews I've been doing, but just a foreboding house, the land, the minimalist design that works so well with the browns and everything, to add, like you can tell with the couch right here and the walls. I mean, it's like that would be a little disturbing if I didn't have the lights on. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, I like that. It's like, let's actually take some of the research that was happening here. It's like, obviously, some of this is fictionalized. Yes, you cannot deny that. But it's like, that's fine. Obviously, they have, the actresses, Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga or someone like that, doing the performances here are so great. It's like believable screams, barely any swearing, which adds to the creepiness of it. There's a little bit of blood, but this is just more of like all the victims that happened in the past. And when you see the images of like a body that's hanging from a massive 40-foot tree, you get to see a child that's frightened. You get to see some victims of people who moved in the 1930s, and they say, she made me do this. And the mythology that comes in of Bathsheba, I forgot her last name, who saw her husband, went crazy, killed herself and proclaimed her love to Satan, and cursed the land, supposedly of like this demonic influence that would come in. And it's just absolutely, ooh, it's like the minimalism here works, because when you get a build up for a scene, like going down inside a cellar a couple of times. It's like, okay, first time there's a fake up, but then something does happen, and then second time we actually get more of the scares of a person being thrown around by the influence of something. And we eventually get to see, like, it's like, hey, some people moved in the 1930s in Bathsheba because her husband was going to sacrifice a child, takes the child and does something with it. I'm not revealing what. Will possess the mother to actually sacrifice the child to Satan. And, it's not like done in a theatrical way, I guess. But done in a way that is so severe and disturbing. You're just like, ooh, this is some great stuff right here. It's like, again, this is a movie that you just have to see. Specifically, some scenes for me that I liked. Well, when you contact Ed and Lorraine Warren, and it's like trying to get them to convince them and talk and stuff like that, because they are trying to deny everything on. It's like, okay, so some wood hit like the wind hit the wood, which would go next to a pipe to cause a squeaking sound, which would make it appear to be haunted, but with the rational explanation, yeah, but this was just something the heck else, Towards the end is climactic when the mother gets possessed by Bathsheba. The research going on, which adds to the credence and tension. That when we get to see the scenes, okay, we understand what's going on. This is an intelligent movie, and you have to pay attention to what it says. And at about 2 hours, it does not overstay its welcome, which I liked a lot. So honestly, I wish there was a little bit more. This movie is rated R, but it's not for the blood, it's not for the swearing, it's not for like the maybe one or two grotesque images, but at the same time it's rated R because it's genuinely scary, and that's the best thing. It's not PG-13 horror, which it's fine for like The Gate and other stuff like that. But when you want like a truly old school style horror, this is really it. Suppose like when Lorraine Warren was talking with a script writer, or James Wan was talking with a script writer, there would be sometimes noise that would the conversations would cut out, and when Lorraine was giving some advice, a conversation like phone line count would go dead. Supposedly there was some influence on one of the staff members, one of the actors or actresses got, or was that some type of blood disease that would only last for a couple weeks? Sheer coincidence? Maybe. I think not. There were like maybe 1 or 2 injuries, and when people were talking about it, and some kind of behind the scenes stuff did happen, which was very interesting to see. And I'm like, dang, this really was a cursed production, I guess, like The Exorcist, but everyone's still alive. Not to kind of be saying like, oh, this was a less worse thing, but it's interesting to hear about. And there are also priests who were able to like bless the people who were watching the movie, which is kind of interesting to hear. So I don't know, and I offer barf bags and things like that. So say what you will about that. Of course, some of the events are dramatized, and the actual family that lived there in the past were like, what is that, creative consultant or something like that. But yeah, it's the people who lived there from, what was that, 1982 to 2012 had no problem living there until saying, hey, we're starting to have some ghosts, so we're going to sue James Wan and Warner Brothers and everything else, and ultimately it was settled out of court. So I'm guessing that maybe certain poltergeist or whatever only attracted to certain negative energies. If I had to guess, who the hell knows? I don't know. It's just something to think about. If I had to, maybe some people may not like about this movie. Just the movie is just a little slow in the beginning, or not too much happens towards the very end, and it's like, there's not swearing. It's like, this is a slow burn, slow tension movie that it gets thicker and thicker, and it's like it's not going to be for everyone, and it's like it's a very serious movie that you have to watch with patience. And of course, there are 4 other movies: that's Conjuring 2 and 3, Annabelle, and The Nun, and whatever else. So those will be reviewed to coincide with the Last Rites movie being released. So yeah, highly recommend you watch The Conjuring from 2013.